Hello everyone and welcome back today for round 15 of the Sebastian Vettel career mode. We're here for Singapore, where you join us for a one-shot qualifying at Singapore in the night. Obviously Singapore being a night race, and we're currently, if you didn't check out the last race, I recommend you go check it out. But we're now here at Singapore, like I've already said. Make sure, gonna kick things off with make sure you like and subscribe. Be mostly appreciated, as we currently lead the way into turn 4 or 5 or something. I don't know. So that was very close to the barriers there. Hopefully we don't hit a barrier and we can escape without any damage. Oh. Yeah, that was a bit of an issue with the front wing, but that's going to be a major issue actually in this race. So it looks like we're going to be starting from the back of the grid after we lost our front wing.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Hamilton, Bottas and Charles Leclerc. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So our teammates getting 3rd place, splitting the Mercedes and the Ferrari drivers. However, we're going to have some work to do starting right at the back. But let's get into it nevertheless.
If you can't tell by the roar of the crowds, it's race day, and I think it's gearing up to be a really special one. The Marina Bay Street Circuit then has 23 corners, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, taking us a total of 3.1 miles around the landmarks of downtown Singapore. An average lap speed around here, just 107 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
Well, Crofty, my focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing lots of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Alexander Albon, and Perez, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Fiat, and Daniel Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Lando Norris, and Stroll. Gasly, Grosjean, George Russell and Robert Kubica, Giovinazzi and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So we're going to be starting from the back of the grid, P20. And look at that. Some rain is due for the first time this season. We're going to actually get some rain joining us in this Singapore Grand Prix, so that's going to be something to look forward to. We're going to start on the medium tyres so we can take them to the end, to the rain, hopefully get with the one stop. But their 5 red lights are out. It's a good start on Giovinazzi. And we're going to go to the inside of the Williams and maybe the Toro Rosso of Gasly. We do get the move done. We're going to go for more moves down the inside. Now side by side with Stroll, that was. So we're already up into 14th place after starting in 20th. Now we're going to get a good run on Magnussen and Lando Norris. We'll see if we can move our way further up the grid. We're going to look to the inside. Good run on Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen. I'm going to look to the inside now and make our way up into 12th place. Next up is Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. In 11th place, we've got his teammate Nico Hülkenberg in front of him, so we'll be looking to make a move on 2 Renaults as soon as possible. Had a look for the inside, but the opportunity didn't come, and we're still sat behind the Renault. It's not. Well, it's a 15-lap race, so we've got 15 laps to try and gain all the positions that we couldn't get in qualifying, but due to our incident at this next corner actually, so going to be careful for that. Everyone in front of us will be on these soft tyres, but we're going to go for a move down the inside. I kind of backed out of it there. I saw the door closing. We're going to go for a really late move down the inside, which will turn for the outside. Oh, whoa, that was close to spinning. Just like the Renault in 2007 or 8 or something. We take an adventurous line through there, but now through the final corner we actually go up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, and that moves us up into P11 in this race. So it's been a fantastic start from us in the Ferrari. Already gaining 9 positions on lap 1, so let's see what type of pace we have and see where it can get us in this race. Nico Hülkenberg is next up on track. Didn't know really what to say there. We'll have a look for a move maybe on the inside. No, back out of that. As he locks up a little bit there, that's going to give us a run for the inside line. We're going to go down the inside of the German, and we're still side by side with the Renault driver. Oh, cars don't often go side by side through there, but we're still going to hold it round the outside. We will have the outside line for the left-hander, and there's the position up into the points in P10. Up next is our former teammate Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo. So he hit the wall on the inside there. Wasn't actually, obviously didn't plan on doing that, but we were able to keep the car in a straight line. We can now try and push to gain in on the 1.4 second gap that Kimi Räikkönen's got to us. As you can see, there are 2 Mercedes leading this race. I think an interesting point in this race will be when the soft tyres pit compared to when the rain comes, because obviously with us starting on the mediums we can go to the end of the race practically on these tyres. Technically the softs could, but you know, it's the AI, so they probably won't go to the rain. Got a good run on Kimi Räikkönen actually. He goes defensive to the inside. We're going to go late on the brakes into turn 1 and look for a move around the... I'm sorry, Kimi.
Okay, clear.
I do apologise. So after an interesting move on Kimi Räikkönen, thankfully the stewards haven't said anything about that. Must have had their eyes closed, but with that moves us up into P8. I'll be honest, that was not the greatest move ever. But the brighter side is we're now gaining on the Torpedo and the Toro Rosso, who's going really slowly. Dive bomb. That's not been the most successful dive bomb. We did get the position, but it's given us already like a 1.2 second gap to Sainz, well 1.7. So yeah, maybe not the dive bomb was the greatest thing to do, but that does promote us to P8 in this race. We're on lap 3 now out of 15. quite a long track, on 1 minute 41. Oh, you're kidding me. Sainz has got an issue. That is unfortunate for him. We're gonna just have the DRS and go swooping round the outside like we tried to do on Kimi Raikkonen, but this time we can afford to take the apex and overtake the Spaniard driver in the McLaren. Puts us up into P7, so we've gained, what's that, 13 positions in 4 laps. So if we keep this up, hopefully we can chase down the top 5 of the Mercedes, the Red Bull and our teammate. But up next is the racing points of Sergio Perez, and currently in 6th place is the Mexican. We're in 7th on the medium tyre, so we're actually doing really well to be able to keep up with these guys on the mediums. However, we are in the Ferrari. There is a bit of a pace advantage on our end, so we're going to use that and try and gain in on Perez as much as we can and try and get some decent points in this race from that poor qualifying. But
we're expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
So Jeff's saying the rain is coming soon already, so maybe we could have got away with starting on the soft tyres and pushing them to the rain instead, but tyre wear's quite bad around this track, especially in like the 50 and the 100% races, so I didn't know how it was going to be in these 25% races, whether you could get away with doing about 10 laps on the softs, but it looks like the rain's only coming in a few minutes time, so yeah, it's not, well, the mediums are working for us, I guess. We're going to go for a move on Sergio Perez around the outside into turn 1. He's still there on the inside, but we get the traction and we get the move down around the outside. Clean as you like, and now we've got Alex Albon in the Red Bull to chase down next.
Ahead of you. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 4 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 42.5.
Oh, we are getting Sergio Perez tries to go for a move round the outside after the straight, as we knock a tiny bit of our front wing off, not enough for visual damage or a wing change. Thankfully I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest, and so yeah, we do have a tiny bit of damage, but it's not going to affect us in this race. We're now on lap 5 out of 15, so we're a third of the way through this race. Currently in P6 after starting last, after we hit the barrier at this corner actually, just at the start of sector 3. The gap is 3.4 seconds to Alex Albon, the Thai driver in the Red Bull after being promoted from Toro Rosso. Jeff talking to us about the fuel. I'll turn that down on the straight. But yeah, we're just playing the waiting game, waiting for either the AI to pit or for the rain to start coming down. It'd be a shame if the AI were to pit and then we just stayed out and got a cheap pit stop under. Oh dear.
Charles is in the pits.
What did I say, lads? What did I say? The AI coming into the pits when the rain is going to be coming down soon. They'll be pitting for dry tyres and they're going to lose so much time. That's if the rain does come. However, I do believe it will be coming before the end of this race. So we might see the intermediate tyres for the first time in this career mode in a race. We saw them once, and for the first time only at Britain at Silverstone in the qualifying session, and there it is. The rain is coming down.
It is 2.7 seconds.
And what did I say? The AI losing lots of time. Maybe we'll see a Williams get a point. You never know what's going to happen, but I'm going to set the tyres to intermediates so we can get ready for when it does, like, you know, properly start raining, when it's wet enough for the wet tyres. But we're currently in a legit P3 now due to the AI pitting, so this has gone well for us, I guess, from starting last, but it's a shame that we couldn't have the battle that we probably was hoping for. Alright, Jeff, as he's telling us to use some of our ERS that we've been saving throughout the course of this race, and I guarantee you that Bottas and Albon will pit for dry tyres. It's just It's a shame that the game can't detect that the rain is coming, that they can probably afford to stay out. And just for the sake of it, we're going to change the wing, because that does look to be a yellow front wing, and there you go. Bottas and Albon peel into the pits for a set of dry tyres, I would imagine. We'll have a look at Bottas in the top left. There you go. He goes on to mediums, and we are winning this race by about a pit stop, which is, well, excellent for us in terms of the strategy.
These conditions are making the line a bit greasy, but we're still nowhere near the changeover point.
And there you have it. Lance Stroll is in second place. Antonio Giovinazzi, from starting in 19th place, is in third place. I really hope, for the entertainment of this video, that they do not pit for soft tyres. The AI pit on lap 6 and 7, so 6 or 7 minus 15. Oh dear. It's 8-ish. So if the rain, I pray that the rain comes down on this lap. Just this lap. Please. Can't tell if that's the light or actually lightning. I don't know if you saw the flash on screen, but yeah, that you could definitely see it is raining. Not wet enough for intermediates though, as these medium tyres are still doing us an absolute weldy of performance. So we win this. We're leading this race by 17.3 seconds, guys. It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing scenes. From starting last on the grid, we are winning. To lap 8 now, so the AI are probably going to be pitting soon for soft tyres. But that's if they actually have the brains to stay out on, wait for the intermediates. It looks like Stroll is staying out. So does Giovinazzi. But look at the massive train that's being held up behind Carlos Sainz in Sector 3 after he had an issue on lap 4 or something. I think it was lap 3 or lap 4. He had an engine issue or some sort, and now he's all the way down there holding up a lot of the midfield. So this race could get interesting with everyone peeling into the pits, or what will be intermediate tyres pretty shortly. But what could be quite bad for me is if it doesn't get wet enough. It was forecast for heavy rain at the end of the race, so hopefully we will see a transition onto intermediates and actually have a dry, wet race for the first time in this career mode. We've seen it start to rain at the end of a race like we did at France, but we actually never saw it properly raining enough for intermediates. We saw light drizzles, possibly even lighter than this, so this is going to be a first for us in this career mode, and let's hope it's a fun one. But Bottas is closing the gap. It's now 16.9 seconds. We are on these worn mediums, which have done 30%, 35%. Do have a bit of a knock on the front wing as we approach the final corner now to start lap 9 out of 15.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace.
As we are 5 seconds off our personal best, so once that gets to about 10 maybes, or 8, or that's the rough transition to intermediates. Or the best thing to note out is for when the DRS gets disabled. That's like the obvious transition from dries to wets, or vice versa when it gets enabled from wets to dries. But we're just gonna have to wait. We're on lap 9 out of 15. There's only 6 laps to go, and it's still raining, but not enough to justify a pit stop. 15 minutes for heavy rain. So let's ask for the weather report.
Repeat that. There's interference.
Weather report.
Heavy rain in around 15 minutes time. 15 minutes. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So it didn't really answer for what I wanted. We did get the weather report of heavy rain in 15 minutes, but what I was interested to know is when this light rain will transition into light rain conditions for the intermediate tyres. So obviously we still are on the correct tyre, the dry tyre. It's not wet enough for the intermediates yet. As we're now in a very tricky section of the track in the wet on the dry tyres, it's really easy to misjudge a braking point and go straight into a barrier. But Valtteri Bottas is closing the gap now, 14 seconds, so hopefully he doesn't gain, well, 14 seconds and 6 laps, and we can keep this lead and maybe go for 3 wins in a row. That would be incredible, especially from starting last. And Hamilton's in 3rd place, battling, well, he's got past Lance Stroll and is now going to look to see if he can close in on Valtteri Bottas. But the rain is still coming down, but it's still not wet enough yet for intermediates. So we're still just, you know, waiting for the strategy call from Jeff to pit for the intermediates. And dry still seems to be the quickest tyre. So obviously the rain isn't coming down as heavy as, for example, I would like it to. There is still an Alfa Romeo actually inside the top 6, I think, along with a racing point of Lance Stroll in 4th place as we get quite close to the barrier. Actually, the gap now 12 seconds to Bottas.
Really touch and go right now. We think the slicks may still be quicker, but it's very close, and you're going to struggle to keep them in the temperature window. The inters are ready when you need them.
So that's good news from Jeff. The intermediates are ready when we need them. So that's telling us that they're about roughly the same, but the dries are still the quicker tyre, as we still do have, we've been on these tyres for 10 laps now as we go really late on the brakes, and you could just, it's just slightly painful on these medium tyres. They've got no grip, A, because it's their worn mediums from lap 1, and B, it's raining, and then the medium tyres. So definitely the right call to start on the mediums rather than softs, otherwise we would have pitted and probably have been quite far down. And perfect timing as we now come into the pits for intermediate tyres. So it is time for the wets, or the intermediates, the green striped tyres. For the first time in a race you will see us, well, we're going to have to change the front wing as well. But on go the intermediates. Bottas stays. That'll be interesting to see if Hamilton comes in. Lando Norris is out of the race. And it looks like Lance Stroll is coming in, but I pray that he goes onto intermediate. That's not a scheduled pit stop for dries. As we come out of the pit lane now in 5th place, and DRS has been disabled. Stroll does pit for intermediates. That could put him in a really good position there, and George Russell as well, he's up into 6th place, so maybe we'll see the Williams actually score some points. Interesting scenes as we got Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas and Hamilton out in front of us, and Hamilton and Bottas have stayed out, so they're either going to have to double stack and lose a little bit of time, or one of them is going to stay out for an extra lap on dry tyres. This could get really interesting as we have a new front wing, so our downforce issue has been solved. You can see on the minimap the stranded McLaren of Lando Norris, who we will pass in a little while. That's the same location of where we crashed in qualifying. However, I do believe it's an engine failure rather than terminal damage, but I will check at the end of the race. But look at that, George Russell in 6th place on the hard tyres, so good job from him to get himself up into the points. Robert Kubica, his teammates, I think he's in 10th, just outside the top 10, so unfortunate for him, but people may get held up in their pit stops. And it's going to be interesting to see which one of the Mercedes come in, whether it be one or both of them. As, oh, there's just really not much grip here around the Singapore streets.
DRS is now disabled.
To be honest, Jeff, DRS was disabled on turn 1. So you're a little bit late there, but thanks for letting me know. As both Mercedes have come into the pits, They're going to be double stacking, but whether there's enough time between them or I'm not sure. Our teammate comes into the pits, and I think we're not going to rejoin in the lead. This is going to be really close between myself and Bottas. Oh. I thought it'd be closer. I do apologise for the anti-camera. Yeah, now on to lap 12 out of 15. 3 laps to go, and we lead the Singapore Grand Prix from last place. Hopefully we can get our 3rd win in a row here in this Sebastian Vettel career mode. Make sure you do like and subscribe, and hopefully we can get more likes than position gained in the race. That would be a good target, would maybe? Probably not going to happen, but we can hope, we can pray, we can dream, and maybe one day in 2058, many years in the future, I'll look back on this. Don't know why I'd be looking back on this, and just watching the likes expand into their millions. Maybe even billions, you never know. But now into the mid stages of the lap. We've got Valtteri Bottas right behind us. We don't have a penalty, unlike last time out in Italy. I believe Italy and France were the 2 Grand Prix where I got penalties at. I can't remember if it was France, but comment down below if you can remember. But I'm sure the heavy rain will be on its way soon to punish us even more in the Singapore Grand Prix. 6 seconds ahead of Valtteri Bottas. That was a moment. I don't know if you heard the tyres just screaming for grip, and we're just going to have to try and, park the bus and just control the pace that we don't have. Coming through to the final corner now. Do cut the corner, but no penalty awarded. On to lap 13. 2 laps to go, and the gap between myself and Bottas has now come down to 5.7 seconds. But hopefully he won't gain all that time on us, and we can just cruise to a nice victory. Starting at the back of the grid, and I'm looking at the minimap, and we've got a Williams in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th place. So maybe a Williams could get a point in this race, but he does have a Renault of, I'm going to say, Nico Hülkenberg right behind him. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Whether we can see George Russell pick up the first points for Williams and his first point of the season. I'll keep an eye on that every lap. As oh god, I'm not bored, don't you worry about that. Just a bit tired. And recording all of these races. I'm recording this right off the back of the Italian Grand Prix. So yeah, wow, that's commitment, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Gap now 5.5 seconds to Valtteri Bottas as we do the same thing again that we'd done last lap, losing the rear while braking for the left-hander, the slight left-hander. Hamilton's quite far behind Bottas, but is under pressure actually from our teammates, so maybe he's struggling in these wet conditions just like I am. And this has really been the last question mark challenge. We started last, and by like lap 4 we got ourselves into 6th place, and then just due to the strategy of the rain has helped us get into the lead after only having to pit once due to us starting on the medium tyres. As we're now onto the penultimate lap into this race. We're just going to put it on a hot lap, leave the fuel in lean. It's not like we need to push for anything. We're not going to go for fastest lap. We can't go for fastest lap because it's raining, and we're not going to go quicker than a Mercedes who set up that time on dry tyres. Onto the straight now, into braking just as like that wall sticks out on the right hand side. The gap roughly staying at around the 5.5 second mark. And it looks like we're going to cruise our way to another victory and extend our points at the top of the standings. So Really good result from us. And also a decent team result, getting first and fourth. If I just work that out quickly, 25 plus 12 is 37, and Bottas with 19 points because he's got fastest lap, plus Lewis is 15 points, so 19. Add 15 is 34, so we will gain a 3-point advantage over the Mercedes in the championship, extending our points by extending our gap by 3 points if it was to finish as it is. But late on the brakes, and we avoid hitting the front of our end plate. However, we have taken some minor damage to the front left.
I think you should be okay to continue. It'll cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race.
Just like Jeff said, all should be good as we come round the final corner now to start the last lap of the race.
This is your final lap of the race.
We're in the 1 minute 55s now, so really long lap times. The gap's now 5.3 seconds to Bottas. To turn 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5 and whatever. All is looking good for another race win. We won in Belgium, we won in Italy, and it looks like we're going to get a third win in a row here at Singapore from starting last on the grid. It's not over yet though. We can still make a mistake like we've done in qualifying. Hopefully we can just control the car, keep it in one piece, and whether it involves going as slow as a snail, then as long as we come across the line with a front wing and 4 wheels on our wagon, then we are going to win this race. But I'm looking at the gap between the Williams and the Renault. It's going to be close. They are literally glued together. You cannot separate them. I really hope we can see a Williams driver get their first point of the season. For it to be at a wet Singapore would be something quite spectacular actually, based on strategy. But it looks like he's going for a move. No. Oh no. I don't. Oh, they still seem to be side by. Hang on. I'm so sorry, but we need to watch this. I'm just going to make sure it is for 10th place. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10th. Oh dear. So it is the Renault. Oh, it's Daniel Ricciardo, and these two are going side by side. Does George have the position? Oh, they're still side by side. Oh. We're not going to know till the end. We're not going to know till the end, so it's going to be dramatic for that battle. Will we see Williams get their first point? And it looks like Ricciardo's overtaken him on the final lap. Oh, that's a shame for Williams. We're going to come round the final corner anyway to win this rather wet Singapore Grand Prix.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Sebastian Vettel will be very happy with that result as he extends his championship lead. Some amazing talents out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
And there you have it. We do win the Singapore Grand Prix from starting last on the grid, picking up our first Driver of the Day award of the season. And it was Kubica who just missed out on the first points for Williams. And this is your final grid then. We do win the race, followed by Bottas and Hamilton on the podium. Our teammate Charles Leclerc in 4th place, followed by Max Verstappen, Albon and Stroll doing well for the Racing Point team. And Tony Giovinazzi done well to get himself from 19th to 8th after only making one stop. It's followed by Sergio Perez and Ricciardo in the rounding up the top 10. Just outside the top 10, unfortunately, Robert Kubica couldn't get his first points of the season, and for Williams, but unfortunately for him, Romain Grosjean in the Haas finishes in 12th, followed by Hülkenberg and Russell. Pierre Gasly is ahead of Magnussen and Raikkonen, followed by Kvyat and Sainz down in the final 2 positions. Sainz having that engine issue and Lando Norris retiring due to a mechanical failure. But we're going to go to the standings now, and we do extend our points gap at the top to now 28 points, and Leclerc drops 1 point behind Valtteri Bottas as Lance Stroll gets himself up into 11th place, along with Antonio Giovinazzi up to 15th. 2 Williams still yet to score. But in terms of constructors, similar to last time out in Italy, no one moves position. We extend our gap at the top. We have 499 points compared to Mercedes' 472. Racing Point actually quite closing down to rate the Red Bull, but the gap is still well over 130 points, with McLaren and Alfa Romeo pretty close to each other in 5th and 6th. But that has been it for the Singapore Grand Prix round 15, and I should join you next time for the Russian Grand Prix, I believe, in round 16. But until then, goodbye.